My name is Claudette McGlynn, and I am Executive Director of the Center for the Study of Multicultural Children's Literature. I'm a member of the Pre-Conference Planning Committee, and I will be your panel moderator. We have assembled an outstanding panel of experts, 6 to be exact, to discuss the topic of literacy programming, forming partnership, and sharing resources, which is essential and timely. Dr. Alire mentioned in her talk, in terms of opportunities, she said we need to step up in developing library multicultural literacy programs and collecting more multicultural materials. So this is relevant, this is timely, and I'm going to have each person introduce themselves first.
I'm Pat Mora.
I'm Maureen Costello, Director of Teaching Tolerance.
I'm Deborah Ford. I'm the Director of Library Outreach at Junior Library Guild.
Idania Patterson, Charlotte Mecklenburg Library, also a writer.
I'm Amy Kuster. I'm the Youth and Family Program Coordinator at Skokie Public Library.
Hi, I'm Michelle Leo. I'm the Head of Education and Library Marketing for Simon & Schuster.
So, Claudette said we had 7 minutes, and first of all, I'm from the South. So just know that's hard just from the get-go. And secondly, we have 3 points, and as I tried to define and condense what I wanted to say, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, hey, this could be a workshop. This could so be a workshop, because that's what I do. I'm a library coach for JLG, and I go around the country and I coach library staff on technology and books and programming and things like that. And so it went from there to it. Now it's going to be a 5-hour thing for BER. So I'm going to tell you the short version. So here I'm going to start with practical tips, because this is how I roll. This practical is where most of us, especially in the library world, this is how we have to do it, kind of on the run. So as you're talking about making sure you have diversity in your library programming and in your collection and all the things that you do, first of all, as you're making your shopping list, the books that you're putting in your collection and that'll go into your hands of your kids, look at it every time you do it, and look at it for diversity. Are you remembering the small publishers, the publishers with diverse characters? Are you remembering all of your kids, your culture, your population, all the different diverse needs? So look at that. Then look at the people that you bring into your library. Are you inviting outside your little box? Are you inviting people of other cultures, of different races, of different religious aspects, of different gender? All of those kinds of people that you're inviting in to read to your kids, to speak on a program in your makerspace, or authors, illustrators, all those kinds of groups. Look outside that little box. There are lots of different reading challenges. Look at that aspect of it as well. Instead, somebody mentioned earlier this morning about doing like Black History Month. I've been called under the carpet for drawing attention to Poetry Month. But it's got to go all year long. It can't just be, we do Christmas on, at Christmas. I listen to Christmas all year long, so Christmas music. So let's do the same thing with our programming. And then look at all the aspects of your library program itself. Look at what you're reading out loud to your kids. Or sometimes at JLG we get new books in all the time as they're published, and we have one of our marketers who, bless his heart, he's a little skittish about things, and so I bring the scary books right over to him and I say, honey, you can't read this, they'll make you scared. So you do the same thing. Maybe you don't really like fantasy, or certain words are hard to say, and so you just skip that stuff, and you might hand it to a kid, but you certainly don't read it out loud. So go beyond your comfort level. Learn how to say those things. Learn how to pronounce an author and illustrator's names. Teachingbooks.net has a free link where you can go and hear how to say people's names, and you can listen to it over and over until you get it, and you can share that as well. Look at your displays. Are you including lots of diversity in the displays that you make in your library? And look in your marketing pieces, anything in your newsletter, in your flyers, in your social media, in the programs that you have. Are you including everybody in those groups as well? And then as you remember your audience, think about how kids learn. Lots of kids learn in different kinds of ways, and so that means in changing your teaching strategies or your presentation strategies. Some people need to see something on a screen. Some people need to see the captions while they're watching a video. They might want to hold a book in their hand while they're listening to an audio tape, etc. So, and sometimes, you know, I was thinking, I used to work at an inner city school where I was one of the few white people that worked there, and about halfway through the year, a little kindergarten kid crawled in my lap and he poked me in the face and he said, "Miss Ford, you're white." I said, "Oh, I am." It just never crossed his mind until all of a sudden he did that. And I was thinking about some of those kids that I worked with then and their families, and visiting in their homes, everybody's talking all at once. And I know if I'm not careful when I'm doing a story time, I want everybody to sit still and be quiet. But you know, it's not like that. Because some kids have to move. They can't sit on the floor, or they need to sit in the back, or they need their hands to be busy. And we just need to remember that too. The next thing I wanted to talk about are diversity resources. Of course, we heard so many today. They're CBC resources, they're ALS resources, speakers already on this panel and others. But I just wanted to call attention, since they're part of my family, the School Library Journal resources. And last year we did a whole issue on diversity last May. And as part of that, there are lots of resources on the slj.com website where you can find lists of multicultural books and diverse population list and speakers and resources and programming and activities. All kinds of things are right there at SLJ. We have we need diversity Pinterest board at JLG, which is one of my jobs. And so as I find new materials, new resources, new programming, ideas, I'm adding that, so you can follow us at JLG. And then, of course, ALA has a whole office, a whole committee, and Nancy was telling me 300 people. They had to enlarge the room because 300 people wanted to come to this conference and talk about diversity needs. So that's important. And then lastly, I want to mention our marketing. It's no good to have wonderful resources and books and programming and things in your library program if nobody knows what you're doing. So you have to get out of your non-tooting your horn little private life and come out and make sure people know what you're doing. Participate in social media. Make sure you're sharing your book list and you offer them before people ask for them. You don't just hide them when it's their month. They're there all the time. And so we're doing that at JLG as well, making sure we don't just do it once a year or whatever. And then always consider your audience, whoever you're talking to. One of the things that we've been talking about as a company is our messaging. You know, when you talk to a parent, they don't understand weeding. But they do understand that when they go to the library, they want what's on the shelf to be correct. And so you want to make sure that we do that too. We reach out to all those people who listen to us. Thank you.